Hi, I'm Jessica. I've literally tried to film, YouTubers always say this, they're like, I've tried to film this video so many times and it's just so hard. And it's like, okay, shut the fuck up. You probably filmed it like one more time before this, but I literally have filmed this video like 5 times all the way through. I've edited it like twice, edited it like 2 or 3 times, and I can't get it right. I just can't do it, man. I just can't get it. But I'm hoping this is the one, because honestly I'm fucking sick of telling the story, but it's a story worth telling and worth sharing with the world, or with the 100 people that watch my video, which if you think about it is like a lot of people. So I'm going to share my mental hospital experience. And this video is solely for the purpose of encouraging people to seek the help that they need and deserve. That is what the point of this video is, because you deserve help. Everyone deserves help. So yeah, that's what this video is about. So I went to the mental hospital in December of 2016, and I was there for a little over 2 weeks. And, that noise. And I was 14 years old at the time, making me 17 right now. Can you believe that? I'm 17. That's disgusting. I don't agree, but okay. So yeah, I was there for a little over 2 weeks, and I was 14 years old, and it was a very typical mental hospital experience. This video is going to be solely dedicated to talking about what went down in that hospital, like what it was like, what the process was like, because I know it's not something that's talked about that often, but a lot more people than you would think go to mental hospitals. It's not super rare. It's not like on American Horror Story, like where it's the asylum. That's not what it's like at all. Like, I promise you, like, that is not what it's like. That is not at all what it's like. That is not what it is. That, like, no, absolutely fucking not. So, I went there for suicidal thoughts and tendencies, and when I went there, they sent me up to pediatrics, and then I got sent into a room which is called CPAP, which is, I don't remember what it's called, what it stands for, but yeah, that's where you had to stay, and I stayed there for 2 whole days until they could get me admitted into the hospital. So I slept on the couches, I slept on the fucking it was like a waiting room. It was literally a waiting room, and I was there for 2 whole days, and I could not leave. I could not use my phone. And before you went in, they they scanned you, they took everything. They had to take the strings out of your hoodies, you had to take your shoes off, you had to put on certain socks. It was like intense. Thank God they didn't fucking strip me and do like a strip test and like fucking shove their fingers up my pussy, because I would have flipped my shit. Like, I would have wanted to die 10 times more. So I waited in CPAP for 2 days, and I got evaluated by a therapist, a psychiatrist, a psychologist. I don't remember the difference, but there's a difference. Psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist, and a doctor. And then like other people, I don't know who. And like, I think like someone who worked in the mental hospital like itself. So I got evaluated by all these people, and I answered, their questions like, what's wrong? Do you feel safe if you go home? What kind of thoughts are you having? They often asked if I had a plan, like a suicide plan. And they would ask questions like, what are your diagnoses? Which, by the way, I'm diagnosed with depression, OCD, PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. And I used to be diagnosed with generalized anxiety, but that recently got taken off my diagnosis list for reasons that are boring and I don't want to get into. Okay. Am I diagnosed with anything else? Depression, OCD, PTSD. Depression, OCD, PTSD. I feel like I'm diagnosed with something else, but I don't remember. So if I remember, I'll put it on the screen. And if not, then I guess I don't have anything else wrong with me. My brain is perfect. What can I say? Anyway. So, and I also have a sleeping disorder, but like it's just like general sleeping disorder. Like, it's not like insomnia specifically. Like, it's like generalized sleeping disorder. I don't remember the name. I don't know. Who cares? No one cares. You didn't fucking ask. Anyways, so they evaluate you, and then they decide if you are going to be admitted, and obviously I was admitted. So they took me to the mental hospital, and it was in the hospital that I was in already. Like, they just brought me over to where the actual section was, where it was the inpatient mental hospitalization thing, and so all the nurses were really, really, really nice. They were nice. They were very nice. You obviously, a list of things you could not have or do, or there were so many strange rules but like the more you think about it, the more it makes sense. Like you couldn't have strings in your hoodies, which didn't make sense to me at first, but then you could not have any strings of any sort. So like strings in your hoodies, fucking gone. If you had strings in your sweatpants, gone. Even if it was like a string like this big, like you could not have it at all. Like I remember this one girl had a notebook and her like bookmark was like a little string this big, and they had to cut it off. And so I like still have like hoodies where like the strings are missing, and I'm like, that's cute. Remember that time I wanted to kill myself? Like they had to take the strings out of my hoodie. That was so funny. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I still have hoodies like with the string. No one gives a shit about my hoodie strings. But yeah, you can't have hoodie strings. You couldn't have any electronics, obviously. You couldn't have caffeine. That was hard for my ass because I'm a caffeine addicted hoe, and not in the trendy way, in the way that I feel like I'm dying if I don't have it every day. And you couldn't have razors, obviously, to shave. You couldn't have that. You couldn't have shower caps. You couldn't have just like random shit. Like makeup you couldn't have because it's poisonous. Quirky. What else couldn't you have? You couldn't have certain things. And I don't remember what they were. Anyway, if I think of any more, I'll like put them on the screen out of a list really quickly in case you give a shit, which I doubt you do. So each room, I didn't have roommates in this one, which most do. We just shared like a little cabin-y thing. Like, so we shared bathrooms, but we didn't share rooms, which I was very happy about. In most hospitals, you do share a room, but for some reason in mine there wasn't. You just shared like a little space. So like there was like sections, and each section, like there was a room right here, and then a bathroom right here, and so you shared like a bathroom and like a little like section, but you had your own individual room with your own door that you could close. And it had a bed in it, a desk, and a chair. But some people decorated the rooms, but I was so fucking sad that I could not do anything to it. And we were only allowed to have one pillow, one blanket, and that was it for our beds. Like we can only have one pillow and one blanket. And I think we might have been able to have 2 blankets. But anyway, so that was the rooming situation. And for like showers and shit, like we had our own we had showers that we shared with one other person, and then there was a general shower in case like the shower didn't work. I don't know. So we shared a shower with our roommate. And for like bath and like supplies and like all that shit, like we brought our own, but they provided it. But we couldn't keep like our stuff like for like the bathroom, and like tampons, contacts, lotion, soap. Like we couldn't keep that in our room with us. They had to keep it, and then when we needed it, we would ask for it and they would give it to us. So yeah, so that was kind of like the routine there, like how that all worked. And yeah, so I'm gonna start from the best of my memory, because again, this was over 2 years ago, so it's hard for me to remember every single thing in detail. But from the best of my abilities, I'm going to try to explain like a day in the life of someone at a mental hospital, like go through it. So every morning the nurses would come in around 8 to 9 o'clock and wake you up to take your medications. And then you would wake up and you would go to the front desk and you would say, I need my medication. And they would ask for your name. That you would have like a little hospital wristband, and they would scan your wristband, and then they would give you your medication. And then you had to swallow it in front of them, and then they had to like investigate your mouth. You had to like open your mouth and go like this. Like they had to like look in your mouth to make sure you weren't hiding the pills. And so after that, you could go back to bed if you wanted to. Like you could stay in your room all day because you just could. Like they didn't make you do they didn't make you do anything you felt uncomfortable with or didn't want to do, which is something that I really did appreciate. And then we went to and then they had breakfast. And how meals worked was every day you got a little slip of paper saying what you wanted for breakfast and dinner and lunch. I think we had lunch. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like you had to like say what you wanted and like shit. Like it was like a menu. Like you had a menu. You could write down what you wanted and your name, and you would give this slip to the front desk, and they would give it to the cafeteria, and the cafeteria would make all the food, which was a nice system. And it would be even nicer if the food didn't taste like ass. So I didn't really eat when I was in there because the food was fucking disgusting. Like it was so nasty. It was so fucking gross. But yeah, then you would go to the there was like a room where like you would eat and you would do activities. Like it was like a general room. So you would go in there and eat breakfast or just sit there and talk and whatever. You would just like kind of hang out. And then we would have, on the weekdays, we would have school for an hour and a half. So we would go into a separate room, and there was tutors from the city schools in my area that would come in and help like everyone like do their schoolwork and shit that the teachers from your school would fax over to the hospital, and you would do it. And so you would do school for about an hour and a half, and then they would 2 hours, and then they would call you out and you could have like a snack. Like they would like bring out like 3 or 4 times a day, they would like bring out like carts with like chips and shit on it, like chips, pretzels, just like random snacks. Also, I forgot to mention when I was filming this, one of the snacks that was like available, and it was the only thing that I liked in this entire place. It was baked Lay's chips, and it was literally the only thing I ate the entire time I was there, except for when my mom came in, she would like bring me food and shit. But like it was the only fucking thing I ate, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, baked Lay's chips. And now every time I look at them, I want to fucking vomit because I ate it for 2 weeks straight. So yeah, just thought I'd let you know that. Never bring baked Lay's chips into my presence, because I will fucking end my shit right then and there, because oh my god, I can't even be in the same room as them anymore. So and then after that, we would do activities, and that included like just like little kid activities, you know, like coloring, gluing things, little bead things. I have all of them over there. I'll take pictures of them and put them in the video. Just like random activities that are like very like relaxing. And then after that, you would go back into the school room, the classroom, and you would do a little more school. I think then it was either an hour and a half. And then after that, you had a therapy. So you either had DBT or CBT, which if you don't know what those are, just look them up. DBT is, I don't remember what it stands for, but it's something. And then I don't even remember. I don't know what it stands for. And CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy. Or you would have mindfulness, which is just like, it sucks. It's the worst therapy ever, for me at least. It works for some people, but during the therapy was when a lot of the med students would come in, like a lot of the medical students, to like learn from us, which kind of was weird because it made you feel like a guinea pig, but it was like fine. They were nice. I don't know. They didn't know what the fuck was going on. They were just like, very interesting. You want to die. Okay, I'm going to put that in my notes. Like it was very like, it was strange, you know what I mean? But whatever. It bothered a lot. It bothered most people more than it bothered me, because like they got to learn, you know, like. And then there was like we had lunch, and then sometimes we had the option. The whole facility was on the same floor, and then there was a gym above our floor. So sometimes we would go up to the gym and we would play volleyball, which was the worst thing in the world. I always went up there just to get out of the area, but I would just sit down on the floor and watch, because I did not. Like, imagine me fucking dodging for a ball. Like, you can't, right? Yeah, no, it's not a thing. But yeah, some people love that, obviously. And then we would come back downstairs, and then we would, you know, have dinner. And then at night, we would watch movies. And then at 10 o'clock, we had to be in our rooms with the doors closed. And every 15 minutes, they had to do rounds every 15 minutes all day long. But at night, they fucking come into the room and shine a flashlight on your face. Like, it was so hard. Like, I actually slept decently there, surprisingly, considering my sleeping issues. But like imagine like you're just sound asleep, and then all of a sudden flashlight. Like, it was so fucking, it was something else. It was something else. And yeah, that was pretty much it. And then on the weekends, it was very relaxed on the weekends. We just did like activities all day and kind of just hung out, watched movies, talked. We did therapies, but we didn't do any school on the weekends. Yeah, that was pretty much it. And then I got discharged, and I kind of like lied my way out of being discharged, because I was going insane in there, because it's very isolating. For the first like day, it's nice, but then after a while, you feel like you're going crazy, because I had not been outside in 2.5 weeks, which is a lot harder than it seemed. I hadn't seen my friends. I like, when you come out, it's like you were disconnected from the world for like a long, even though 2 weeks isn't really that long, but like if you've ever experienced this, you know what I'm talking about. It's so weird to come back and like there's like you're so disconnected. Like you like time traveled. It's like a really weird feeling, and like for people in there longer, it has to be like even weirder, because I was only in there for 2.5 weeks, which isn't really. It was a long time for the hospital I was at, because the hospital I was at was just a holding environment for people who were a danger to themselves. It wasn't supposed to like completely like transform your life. Like it wasn't like that, because I know some of them are like they keep you for like 5 years and you're like gonna be able to live such a better life. But there they send you home, and then you go into this thing called partial hospitalization program, which is what I got admitted to next. And it was basically when you went to the hospital from 7 in the morning to 2:30 p.m. So it was like you went there during the day. Like it was like the mental hospital inpatient, but it was outpatient, and you went during the day, then you went home in the afternoon. My partial hospitalization experience, the nurses were kind of rude there, but I did meet like amazing people, like, so like that was good. I would never take it back for the, like I wouldn't take back my experience there for the world. My partial experience wasn't terrible either. It wasn't the best. The nurses were rude in partial, I have to say. Like a lot of the nurses were rude. There were some nice ones, but then there were some that like just were fucking cunts. Like they were just fucking dicks. And yeah, I don't know. But I met like amazing people there, and I wouldn't take it back for the world, just because I feel like it did teach me shit, and I went through it, so who cares? And it brought me a really good group of friends, so I don't know, like whatever. So yeah, that was my experience in the mental hospital. I hope I did a good job at explaining everything. Yeah, I was in the partial hospitalization program for 6.5, a little over 6 weeks, and yeah. The end. I hope this is the last time I'm filming this, because honestly I'm fucking sick of talking about it. So, but yeah, thank you for watching. If you need help, why do I have the hiccups? If you need help, go get it. You deserve it. If you need to take medication, take your medication, or take medication. If you need a therapist, go get a therapist if you can afford it. If you need a psychiatrist, go get a psychiatrist if you can afford it. And I will put links down below for like, if I can find good online therapies. BetterHelp is apparently like a fucking scam, so I don't know. But like I'm gonna do some research and find some like link to put down in the description for like therapies, like online counseling and shit like that. And like I'm also gonna put like hotlines for like different things and all that, so I'll put that in the description. So if you need anything, you know where it's at. Also, if I made any jokes in this video that bothered you, I'm sorry. Laughing about things that I shouldn't laugh about is my way of coping with my life. And if you don't like that, I understand. Like I don't blame you. Like most people should. Like it's unhealthy. You know what I mean? Like not unhealthy. I mean it's, if you don't like that I joked about things like that, I'm really like I'm genuinely very sorry for if it bothered you. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like I actually am really sorry if it did bother. So yeah, sorry that it like cut off. My mom called me. So yeah, hopefully this helped anyone. If you need help, go get it now, right now, immediately. This is me yelling at you to fucking go get help because you deserve it. Yeah. I'ma go. Subscribe, I guess. People always say subscribe, but like if you wanted to subscribe, you would subscribe. I shouldn't have to tell you to. Like this is like demanding you, like subscribe or else. Like no, like yeah, what, like, or else what? Like I won't know who doesn't like. I don't know. I just think that's dumb. But dislike this video if you didn't like it. Like it if you did, or just don't do anything. That's what I usually do. I usually just don't fucking do anything. Thank you for watching. I need to end this video. Okay, bye.